Chapter 3. Fagin and His Boys. Oliver walked more than 70 miles. He carried only a shirt, 2 pairs of stockings, and a single penny. He was on his way to London. No one, not even Mr. Bumble, would ever find him in that big city. It was cold and his feet were sore, but he was thrilled to leave his old, unhappy life behind. He begged at cottages for food and water and slept in haystacks in the meadows. There he is, poor little guy out on his own. On the 7th day of his journey, Oliver met a boy who looked about his own age, but who dressed and acted like a man. He was short and bow-legged, and had ugly little eyes. He wore dirty clothes and a hat that looked about ready to fall off his head. His pants were baggy, and his coat reached down well below his knees. "Hi, young fella," he greeted Oliver. "What are you up to?" "I'm tired and hungry. I've been on the road for 7 days," Oliver replied. "Well, come on. I'll get you some food." Jack Dawkins, better known as the Artful Dodger, bought some ham and bread and then took Oliver to a tavern for some beer. It was the biggest meal Oliver had ever eaten. There he is, the Artful Dodger. Look at that hat. "Going to London?" asked the Dodger. "Yes," said Oliver. "Got anywhere to stay?" "No." "Got any money?" "No." "Well, it just so happens that I'm going to London too, and I know a gentleman there who will give you free room and board if I introduce you." The boys came to a filthy, bad-smelling street and entered a broken-down house. "Are you there, Fagin?" called the Dodger. "I have a new pal for you." An ugly old man in a dirty flannel dressing gown was cooking sausages. He had matted red hair, and his face was twisted into an ugly grin. At a table in front of the fireplace sat 4 or 5 boys, none older than the Dodger, smoking long clay pipes and drinking spirits. That's alcohol. The only furniture in the room was a clothes rack on which many silk handkerchiefs hung and some dirty sacks that were used as beds. Oh, meeting Fagin and his gang. Fagin doesn't look very nice. "This is my new friend, Oliver Twist," the Dodger announced. Fagin glanced at Oliver, who looked bewildered. Then he drew out a box from a trapdoor in the floor. Inside were beautiful gold watches, bracelets, rings, and other jewelry. "These pretty things are mine," said Fagin nervously. "These are all I have left in my old age." Oliver didn't understand why a man with so many riches lived in such a run-down house, but he decided that Fagin must spend all his money taking care of the boys. Oliver washed himself in a basin and threw the dirty water out the window as Fagin suggested. Then he ate breakfast with Fagin, the Dodger, and Charlie Bates. "What did you bring back with you this morning?" Fagin asked his boys. 4 silk handkerchiefs," said Bates. There's Bates. He's got 4 silk handkerchiefs. I wonder where he got those. "Ah, I see you've been working hard. Would you like to be able to make such beautiful things, Oliver?" "Yes, sir, if you'll teach me." "We'll teach you, don't worry," the others said, laughing. Oliver didn't see anything funny. He was even more puzzled by the game that his new friends played after breakfast. Fagin dressed up like an English gentleman and put a wallet, a snuff-box, a watch, and other valuable things in his coat pockets. Then he picked up a cane and walked around the room, stopping often, as if looking in a store window. The boys followed behind, careful to keep out of sight. When the gentleman stopped, one of the boys stepped on his foot while another removed all the things from his pockets. Then they disappeared before the victim could turn around. There's the game they're playing. What do you think he's teaching the boys to do? "The Dodger and Bates will be great men," Fagin told Oliver later. "Take their advice and do what they do, and you too will be famous. Now, try to take this handkerchief out of my back pocket without my feeling it." Oliver did exactly as he had seen the Dodger do. Fagin was proud of him and gave him a shilling. It's like a penny. After Oliver had practiced this trick for several days, he was allowed to go out with Dodger and Bates. End of chapter 3. Dun, dun, dun.